My mom left me on a train, so.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
How was that?
I was
Chennai Express. We got a special announcement this podcast. Tune in October 28th for Drake's album featuring 21 Savage to drop. This podcast is dropping on Sunday, so you guys have probably already listened and critiqued his album already, but I don't care. Go back and stream that because we need Drake to pop off so he can make more music and possibly get his heart broken again so he can drop some depressing stuff, right?
That's not going to help your mental state.
I'm sorry. Oh, where's the reflect sign?
Well, I guess we're back in Paris today.
Oh, back in the basement.
What's up, boy?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. Welcome back to Reflect.
Season 1, Episode 6. What an intro, man. We love to see it. We're bringing all the energy and positive mindset today.
That intro was quite aggressive.
It was. That kind of hurt, man.
You know, I feel a little better mentally after taking my aggression
I
out.
do too.
After that, you know what I'm talking about?
I just kind of want to slap you again.
I kind of want to slap you again, too.
Four eyes.
What?
What?
You have four eyes, too.
Anyways.
That's disrespectful.
So, as you guys know, I'm Uzam. He's known as 10% Man, also known as Yasser. Last week, you know, I couldn't film because I had some school work to do and some life situations going on, so I wasn't able to film, but I know the boys took care of it last week. So, here we are. Now it's just me and 10% Man, so...
also known as Yasser.
Yeah, I already said that.
Oh, okay.
If you were paying attention.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay,
I paid attention to my water.
Yeah, maybe you should.
My purified water.
But, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
That's it? Just I'm good?
Yeah,
No...
I'm decent. I'm feeling great. We're in Paris right now, so I'm feeling fantastic.
Yeah, I know. It's beautiful. Do you like it? How do you feel being behind the camera this time?
I feel a little bit more comfortable being
Yeah, because I know the first time was a little bit different with your first time. Yeah, so.
It was a trial and error process.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm also doing good. You know, mentally, we're kind of there, struggling with some schoolwork, but obviously, you know, that happens with life.
I feel that schoolwork is a pain.
Yeah, man. So
definitely a pain.
Yeah, but speaking of mentally, let's get into today's topic, which is going to be mental health.
Okay.
So, Yasser, what do you think are, you know, like, how can you describe mental health in 3 words?
So 3 words for mental health. The way that I would describe mental health in 3 words would be stability, belief, and surroundings.
Okay.
Right. Stability, because I believe mental health stems off of stability. Right. So if your mental health is good, it kind of correlates to you having stability in either life or you have stability in school or you have stability in like financially. Right.
Yeah.
Belief. I correlate that back to mental health because your belief system is what drives your mental health, right? If you believe that you're not a good person, you're going to always be down and kind of like be like a Debbie Downer, right?
Yeah.
If your belief is that you have a purpose for like what you do every day and like you have a purpose for why you're attending school and you have a purpose for why you're working the job you're working, then that kind of correlates in your aura, right? Kind of like everyone's able to see that within your light. Like when you see a person, like everyone's able to see that, right? Surroundings, because I believe that let's say you're you're in solitary confinement, like in prison, right? There's no light, there's no nothing. Eventually you're gonna end up...
Thank God you explained that because I was really confused.
Eventually you're gonna end up like getting to yourself, right? Like, because your mental health is gonna crash if you're in solitary confinement. You have no outdoor like system, pretty much. Like you're just to yourself, right?
You're locked in a cell,
Like surroundings make a big difference because like who you surround yourself with, what you surround yourself with, and it doesn't necessarily have to be all external, right? It could just be like what you surround your own like mindset with, right? Like what thoughts are around you. That's why I believe those 3 words correlate to mental health.
Yeah, I think those are 3 really good words. However, mine are a little bit different.
Okay.
Mine would be positivity, habits, and roller coaster. Roller coaster is 2 words, but we're gonna put it into 1 basically.
Well, it's 1 conjoined word.
Well,
roller coaster.
Okay,
right.
Sure. Fine,
unless
whatever.
you add the little dash in between.
Yeah. Well,
then not really.
I don't know. So I should just ask my English teacher.
English 101 and 102.
Yeah,
so
I know facts. So.
Okay.
Anyways, so positivity. I say positivity because, you know, with the mental health, if you surround yourself with negativity, that's all you're gonna have in your mental health. You know, so surround yourself with positive stuff.
Yeah.
And I know you said surroundings, and again, like you said with the prison stuff, that it's negative, so you have like a negative mental health basically.
Yeah.
And then I say habits because the habits that you pick up are what rely on your mental health.
Okay.
So like if you do like drugs or get into other stuff, then that really like relies on your mental health, and that's like what affects your mental health basically.
Yeah.
So like if you snort cocaine from
Like
a
Shia
table,
LaBeouf, like
yeah,
from the last episode.
yeah,
A little
yeah,
bit?
yeah.
Yeah.
That last episode was really good though.
On
I
the
really did
table?
enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, you're welcome. You did a really good job.
Thank you.
And then my last one was roller coaster.
Okay.
Obviously, as life is filled with ups and downs. Some days, you wake up, you're feeling amazing, you make your bed, you shower, you ready to crush a school day. Other days, you just want to wake up and you don't feel like going to school, and you don't have any motivation to do anything. So those would be my 3 words to describe mental health.
Okay. Makes sense. I think those are good words. It kind of shows the foundation of mental health and like what your mindset is about that. So
Yeah.
To kind of segue into that, like instead of just using 3 words, right? I guess what is your standard definition, or like what is your overall definition of mental health? Like if someone came up to you and they were like, what is mental health, right? Like, well, how would you describe that to them?
I would break it down in 2 points. So I would do the good side and the bad side.
Okay.
So the good mental health, which equals to, is like always having motivation to get up and do something, and try something new,
Okay.
and like making sure that you're on top of your grades in school and doing all of that stuff.
Okay.
And then my bad side would be, never having the energy to do anything, like you get those days where you just like lay in bed and your room is a mess and you just never feel like cleaning and you just scroll on TikTok for hours.
Yeah.
Like that's what like having a bad mental health is. And recently I've just been in that situation where I just wake up, I drag myself out of bed, drag myself to school, try to pay attention as much as I can in school, but that's kind of what like bad mental health is, and I'm working on it as the days go on. But again, mental health is a roller coaster, and it's just life is filled with up and down, and that's just kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah, it makes sense, and that's kind of one of the words that you used as well, right? Roller coaster.
Yeah, roller
was one of the words that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I agree with a lot of your points. I believe that like good mental health. So like one thing that I don't necessarily like, I kind of agree with it, but I kind of don't, right? It's like a 0.5 point because I agree with it somewhat and I don't somewhat, is how if your mental health is good, you always have like something to do. I believe that's like more so about like productivity, but I see where that's coming from because like if your mental health is good, you're more productive, right? That pushes you to do more stuff. So like I see where you're coming from as far as like good mental health goes. The way that I would define it, good mental health pretty much to me is like just being aware of what's like going on in your life, like being cognitive wherever you go, right? So like let's say you make like a Target trip, for instance. So like when I was driving to your house, right? Like let's say I'm driving but I'm thinking about the assignments that I have due tonight, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that my mental health is poor, but if I do those actions repeatedly, right? Like if my head is elsewhere and like I'm physically present somewhere else, that could be a sign of like mental health that isn't too good, right?
Yeah.
So I would say like good mental health just really, at the end of the day, it's kind of just like being present in like what you're doing on like a daily basis and like fully digesting it instead of like, eating food or having dinner with your family and thinking about like what your life is going to be 10 years from now,
Yeah.
And the way that I would define bad mental health is obviously it would be the exact opposite of that, but that'd be too vague of an example, right?
Yeah.
I would say bad mental health would be if, as you mentioned earlier, where you just have those days where you like do not feel like doing anything at all, right? Where you're just kind of like slumped out. You have no like courage to kind of get up or like clean your room or like do your homework, do your assignments, pick up phone calls, right? That would be my overall definition of like mental health. And I believe it's also known, like some of those things are also known as like a crash, right? Because like when people like mentally get like burnt out or crash, and like I've also experienced that in the past.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like me and you both, we text every day, and we both. You just kind of text me that like I've been out of it today.
Yeah.
And we'll just kind of talk it out. But yeah, go on. What were you saying? Sorry.
No, so I was just saying like some of those traits, as you described earlier, are also known as like mental crashes, like mental burnouts, which is like that's kind of what I describe like bad mental health of more. So like if you're having burnouts more occasionally, if you find yourself like being uninterested in like tasks that you do on a daily basis, right? Like cleaning your car, organizing your car, cleaning your room, washing your car, stuff like that, just like hobbies that people do on a daily basis, watching basketball. Janine was at the Chicago Bulls game. Did you see that
I saw that. Yeah, that was crazy.
I had a friend that was there. I was telling him to try to point him out, but I think he like dipped out a little earlier.
Probably, if he didn't get kicked out.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing in Chicago.
Probably getting a haircut.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't go to like, the bad parts of Chicago. But that's kind of like my overall gist of mental health and what I perceive it as.
Yeah, I think you brought up some good points with the mental crashes and stuff, because I didn't hit that, but I just want to say, like, there's a difference between like being sad and like being depressed, and I know those are both like part of your mental state, right? But being sad is only temporary, right? Depression is not like a joke, and it's something that like high schoolers these days deal with it, and it's a point where like depression goes on for like 4, 5, 6 months, right? Maybe even longer, maybe a year or 2 years, 3 years, whatever, right? Being sad only goes on for like a week, and then you get over it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a phase, right?
Yeah.
It's just like a cloud.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out, because we were taught like the definition of it. I don't want you guys to get it mixed up with like, do they think that mental health is just like sad and depression and stuff?
Yeah, no,
like,
of course not.
Yeah, I just want to like tell you guys that those are two very different topics.
Makes sense.
But so now that we got the definition of what is mental health, what do you think causes like mental health issues?
I believe that lack of self-care, right? Shout out to Mac Miller. I believe lack of self-care that causes like mental health issues, right?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Sorry, no, I was just thinking about the Mac Miller reference.
The shirt?
Yeah, because I have he got me a shirt. Oh my god, I was choked. He has a...
I got him a shirt for his birthday, and it
okay.
said self-care, and then on the back it
said the same thing. It said self-care, and then it said swimming, like his
album
name?
And no, that was on the front. The self-care was on the back.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then I came to find out that he already had a self-care shirt. So
not a self-care. I had this album shirt.
Swimming in the ocean or whatever,
yeah,
right?
It's not in the ocean.
I don't know.
What are you saying?
Swimming with the sharks.
Don't ever disrespect.
I don't know.
What is this, Baby Shark?
Rest in peace, Mac Miller.
But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna wear that Mac Miller shirt next podcast.
I told you to wear it for this podcast.
I'm gonna wear it next podcast.
And you're like, no, I don't want to wear it.
No, I got it next podcast. Relax.
Bet. You guys better, you better stick to your word for that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, 40% of you guys who watch our videos aren't even subscribed. Like, go down and hit the subscribe button right now.
Right now, it's gonna pop up right now.
Yeah,
okay.
Like,
hit that button right there.
Yeah. Like 40% of you guys, come on, let's go. Chop. Hit the subscribe button. And if I tell you to subscribe, don't unsubscribe after I leave the room. Like, I know half of the people at school are doing this. Like, I walk into class and tell them to subscribe. I walk out, they unsubscribe. Like, what is this, bro? You're making me happy for no reason.
My brother
messing with my mental health.
My brother and I were at the gym one day, right? Our subscriber count went from 75 to 72, and we saw it like go down from 75 to 72.
Yeah, and I bet that was like half the kids in my school.
Yeah, so I mean, what?
Or not half, sorry, like
0.5%. Yeah, because
couldn't do the math. Sorry,
at least 2,000 kids in your school.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was your question?
Sorry, yeah, we got a little off track there. What causes mental health issues?
So I believe, as I mentioned earlier, I think it was the same point that I mentioned, lack of self-care, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Mac Miller.
Yeah.
Lack of self-care, yeah. So, as I was discussing earlier, right, like lack of self-care. So if you're kind of like not really caring about your appetite, right? You don't really care about doing physical activity, right? Social activity, because I know like a lot of people, if they're derived from, there's two types of people, right? There's introverts and extroverts, right? And I believe for extroverts, it's like they crave that social aspect of life, whereas introverts are fine with being cornered, just like doing their own thing, right? So I believe that's also another thing where that could cause like, social, or that could be a mental health issue. And I know like a lot of people during COVID actually dealt with that, where they couldn't cope mentally because they were just so used to like going into the office, interacting with people at school, stuff like that,
That's what I was just about to like ask you right after you were done talking, how like do you think mental health has changed over the last 2 years because of COVID and stuff? But you already kind of answered that. So.
Yeah, I definitely believe like natural occurrences could shape your mental health, you know?
Yeah.
And it could kind of like cause some upbringings that could just startle your mental health a little bit and stuff like that. But like those are some of the examples that I believe like could cause mental health issues, and you know, self-care being one of them. And just like the other one that I wanted to mention actually was just like constantly comparing yourself, right? Like not just in like the media world, but just like in person in the present moment. Like if you're like constantly seeing people either at the gym, as I mentioned earlier, right? Or like if you see someone driving a nicer car than you and you're just like putting yourself in their shoes, but it's coming from like a place of like, why can't I have that? You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of people when they do start off their gym journey, or like they do start off like their financial journey or whatever the case may be, the social media journey, right? Like they look at others and they go into like a state of comparison, right? And I think we mentioned this in like our social media podcast as well, but like I believe people could also just derive that from social media and implement that within person, or it could just be within person from the start, you know what I mean? And it just kind of goes into that.
Do you think the people that compare themselves to other people, do you think they can use that as motivation or no?
I believe it could be used constructively,
Okay.
right? Like I believe people could like look at high achievers and be like, hey, like what do you do to get to where you are, right? But like I believe that if your mental health is already kind of in a place where you don't have like the best self-esteem, right? You don't necessarily have like the best belief in yourself, or like you're going through like a cycle where it's like, okay, like, you know, things aren't the best in my life, then I believe that like automatically you could just start having those thoughts where it's like, okay, like why am I not in that position? You know, but like I believe for you to compare yourself and be applauding of others, of higher achievers, like you have to be in a very good mental state to be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like that way you won't look at other people out of pity. You'll look at them as like role models.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like Mike Tyson, like Muhammad Ali. You know, like he wanted to beat that dude's butt when he saw Mike Tyson, or when he saw Muhammad Ali get beat. You know, so it's like he looked at Muhammad Ali as a champ, like a role model. You know? So.
Personally, I'm just like J. Cole, you know, no role models, so we up right now. Yeah.
All right. It's a good song, though.
It is. I was bumping that this morning, actually, in class. So, but I want to get back to what you said about social media. And did you say social media is good for you or bad for you? What did you say? Like, can it cause mental health issues or no?
I was just saying that. I was saying that like people can get to the state where they compare themselves in person rather than over social media, is what I said.
Yeah, okay, so we're on different topics, but you know, social media for sure can cause mental health issues. And in the last 10 years, this is an actual fact. In the last 10 years, suicide rates have gone up 12.3%.
Really?
Yeah, just because of all the hate that people are receiving on social media, whether it's with their likes, their comments, or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And like you were saying, you know, people try to compare themselves, and like people compare their likes with other people's likes. Like, for example, like, you know, you have 100 likes. Oh, well, I have 300, you know? Like, I'm better than you already.
Yeah.
So that definitely messes with your mental health. And, you know, besides, like, you using that as motivation, you're just ruining your mental health yourself. You see what I'm saying?
So it could be carried into both, like, I guess the influencer world, which is kind of what you touched upon, and like in real life too, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that like, do you think that people could take like the social media aspect of it and like not have that in person?
What do you mean?
Like, do you think people could like compare themselves to others in like remotely, right? Like over social media, like to influencers and stuff. But like, do you think that they could applaud people in person? Like, do you think that could exist?
Yeah, because, you know, some like, what if someone's dressing a little bit better than you and you want to dress like them, right? Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah, like if you see someone having like better like style than you in person, right?
Yeah.
But like you look at like the style of like rappers or something, obviously like you can't attain that, or like some people can, right? If you work up to that level, but like you can't attain that for the time being, but you see someone that has similar style to you or like something you want to like take for yourself. Do you think there could be a balance of like having constructive comparisons in person and like not having constructive comparisons like over social media, is what I'm asking? Like unrealistic, like, you know, wants, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean they can. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was a really hard question, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
trying
I
to
know.
think.
I was.
Okay, so after his little complicated question, after further explanation by the CEO over there, people in real life, they just get it naturally, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
and then the people over social media, it's kind of like a jacket. They just put it on and they just kind of move with it, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess to what you said, yeah, they could, but like they
Mm-hmm.
also couldn't, you know.
That makes sense. So like you pretty much what you're saying is like people on social media they could be created,
Yeah.
right? And then people in real life is like you're seeing them for for their natural self, like
Yeah.
in real life,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah, there we
okay.
go. Yeah, you just
Yeah.
kind of said it a little bit easier for them.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
if
that
you guys
makes
understand
sense.
me. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, is that all you had? The
Yeah,
question?
I think that wraps that
Yeah?
point up. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's pretty solid points there.
And then, well, I'm not done yet. So
Oh, okay,
can you
sorry,
just let me
sorry,
keep
sorry,
talking?
sorry.
Okay. Don't ever cut me off ever again.
Sorry. Okay, continue.
But yeah, so social media is the thing that causes like the mental health issues,
Mhm.
and then the other, like, you know, I'd say like 25-50% could be house related things or school related things. And you know, one tip that I would give out is that whenever something bad happens to you, just remember that it happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, and it's just the one above who is testing you. And he just wants to see how you would react to it, you know?
Mhm.
And whenever something bad happens to you, don't go too hard on yourself where it gets to the point where you're like, why is this happening to me? Why can't I be like them? Why can't I be like this?
Mhm.
Like, it's just like life is filled with roller coaster, you know? It just keeps going up and down. And there's just a bunch of like tests and stuff that you have to go through, you know?
Mhm.
So that's like another thing that could cause mental health issues,
Mhm.
but just keep pushing through, I guess.
Yeah, like that one Dory scene.
Keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
I noticed that like the older movies have like more life lessons than like the newer ones do.
Yeah, I know.
You
It's
know what
kind
I
of
mean?
crazy. Like when we were kids, we never really knew that.
Yeah, because we were dumb and young, dumb, and broke.
Well, if you guys didn't know this, me and Yasser were both dropped as babies. So
Were you actually?
you definitely were, bro.
I was dropped. My mom
If you guys
told
don't know
me-
this, like honestly, me and Yasser are the two dumb cousins that, like, honestly,
If you can't already tell by the intro,
yeah,
we're
we
dumb.
Yeah,
Like,
if
we
you
get stared
if you
at.
guys have ever hung out with me and Yasser alone, you guys know that we don't hold back anywhere we
Yeah,
go.
we don't. We're walking Gideons at this point.
Honestly,
so
like,
we're menaces.
yeah.
So,
Who is
yeah.
Danny Duncan? Who is Balin Levine? Honestly,
Yeah, who
Like,
are they? They're no ones to
yeah,
us.
like
right?
it's me and Yasser now.
Yeah, honestly. Do you know who Loaf is? Not Loaf. Yeah,
Loaf, yeah,
that
he's
guy
been
is
popping on
goated.
TikTok recently.
That guy is goated too.
Yeah, he does some crazy stuff.
Yeah, but right, to segue into like the next question, right? Oh yeah, we were talking about how we were dropped as babies, right?
I mean, we just kind of talked about that being the dumb cousins that we are.
I was explaining my story. So I was dropped because like my mom took me out of my car, and I was in a. What was I in? I was in like the little. Oh yeah, why am I asking you?
I don't know why
I
I
was in
there.
like the baby seat that you put in like the back of the car, and my mom forgot
A
to
car
like,
seat?
Yeah, the car seat. Okay, baby seat, same thing. My mom forgot to buckle me in, so she lifted the thing, and I just fell face first. And then my mom told me there was an auntie that was right next to her, and she's like, "What? You know?" She was like, "Ye kya hua?" She was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, like what happened?" Right?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, you just dropped your kid."
Honestly, I could see your mom doing that,
And then
bro.
my mom just like she panicked and she picked me up, and maybe that explains
Bro,
why we're
I mean-
walking Gideons.
I mean, dude, like my mom left me on a train, so.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
How was that?
I was,
Chennai Express.
What's that?
What's that?
Polar Express? No, but seriously, yeah, I was, I don't know where we were. I was like 2 years old. I didn't even know this happened. My mom just told me like a year ago or something. She's like, when you
Wow.
were a little baby, we were going somewhere, and I was so busy that I just left you on the train. I was like, Mama, what?
Wow.
And she's like, I just left you on the train. It got like I just had so many bags in my hand. I was like, you forgot that you had a child?
So she forgot to grab your hand, but she grabbed the
Yeah,
bag?
and I was just stuck on the train, and then she had to take a taxi or a cab, whatever it's called, all the way to the other side, to the other train station to get me. Lucky I didn't get kidnapped, bro. I wouldn't be here.
You could have been fostering like a different family, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
you
I
wouldn't even know
guess,
your
yeah.
mom. That would have been the last time you would have saw your mom.
Yeah.
And then it would have been like a faded memory, and you would have been like, who was that person, you know?
I don't even think I would remember that. Like, okay, let me ask you this.
Well,
'cause
you
we
were 2.
Yeah, okay, we were talking about this in sociology, okay?
Yeah.
Shout out sociology class, okay?
I took that 2
Do
years
you
ago.
ever
1 year ago.
did you know that you don't know what happened before like the age of 5 or something?
Yeah. Yeah, you're just
Like you're just developing all the stuff that you now know.
you pretty much just don't know what's going on.
Like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is pretty wild. And then you like have like these sudden memories from like when you're just sitting in first grade.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't know anything before that unless yeah, you don't. No, I actually remember some stuff from kindergarten. But like before that, I don't remember anything.
No, like I literally don't remember ages 1 through 3.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I don't remember anything either. You could have
That's
puked.
wild.
You could have puked on someone you would remember.
Yeah, like honestly, if nobody told me this that I got left on a train, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Shout out mom for telling me.
I didn't even know that, but
Yeah.
okay. So to sort of segue into like the next question, right?
Yeah, we got a little off topic.
Yeah,
Let's
we
get
kind
back
of
into
had
it.
our Papa Roti session there. To kind of segue into the next session, right?
Yeah.
Or the next topic. What is your current state of mental health right now?
All right, so a little bit background on me. You obviously know this because you're one of my best friends. You're like one of my best friends. We grew up together, you know. So, a little bit background about me. I've been in and out of the depressive state for a little bit. You know, most people, obviously like me, try to just put a fake face on when they go out, and then when they're by themselves, they get into like a dark hole, and it's just really hard to get out of, you know. And for me, when I was in that dark hole, you know, that could lead to like self-harm and like, you know, not taking care of yourself mentally physically and, you know, socially. So you know, people just go out there and put a fake face on, and they just kind of go about their day, but then when they're all alone by themselves, that's when it really hits them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like the key to the door to know that, you know, you're in like a little depressive state, you know. And it took me a while to realize that, but I sort of kind of realized that as I got older, as like I just wake up and I wasn't happy, and I would just, you know, I'd always be mad at myself for waking up and, you know, doing all that, you know, and like going to school and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's like where I've been. And, you know, make sure you check up on your friends, because again, back to what I said with the social media thing, you know, 12.3% of suicide rates have gone up. Check up on your friends, man. And even if they say, you know, they're like, you can definitely see it. I don't want to like put you on the spot,
I mean,
but
I
like,
was gonna already get into it.
yeah, but like for me, I can see when something's wrong with Yasser,
and vice versa.
yeah, like we can both see when something's wrong, even though when we're out in public, like we both are smiling, we're
It's
still acting
normal.
dumb,
It's
but
so
like
normal.
deep down, I know something's wrong with him, and vice versa, you know.
Yeah.
And so after we're done with like the event and stuff or whatever, we're done hanging out, we'll get home, and then
Text each other.
we'll just text each other what's wrong, like, you know,
Yeah.
tell me what happened,
Like
this and that.
straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just check up on your friends, man. I mean, you know, they're a part of your life. Check up on them, see how they're doing, make sure they're doing well, and stay by their side for a little bit.
And I'm glad that like you and I developed that connection where we just know, like it's just kind of like a reading sense,
Yeah.
you know, like some people, like either they're just emotionally like capable of doing that where they can just hide it so well, or they've practiced for so many several years because
Yeah.
like they don't know how to like reach out, or like if they should like, you know, seek professional help,
Yeah.
like stuff like that, like instances like that, they just get so good with like bottling it up, you know.
Yeah.
Like what's his name, Robin Williams, for I think that's what his name is.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
you know, he unfortunately passed in 2014, you know.
Yeah.
Great actor, you know, everyone knew him, all that stuff, but
Yeah.
it just goes to show that you never really know what's going on, and like it's important to have these conversations, especially nowadays, because like we're just so driven by everything that's given to us remotely, you know, like
Yeah.
we're just so driven by social media, and like, you know, I believe it has more cons than pros, which, you know, I mean, this is not the episode for that, but
Yeah.
I just believe that it's just turned into a lifestyle, you know.
Yeah.
Like that one documentary that you and I watched when I came over to your house, it was like the one about the cats.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I can't,
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
gruesome. I can't get into that, right? But like in the development of social media and like the starting stages when like Facebook came out, YouTube came out, it was more of an escape from the real world where people could create an identity, you know, and some people do take advantage of that, right?
Yeah.
Like some people do take advantage of the pros of social media.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's so much negative depiction on social media where it could just, you can never tell, you know?
Yeah. And even if you're not close with the person, you know, like if me and Yasser, for example, weren't that close, right? Like, you can see it based off of their body language or how they act. You know, one day they'll act super happy because they're actually happy to be there, or other days they'll just be quiet and they don't really want to be there, you know? And some days when you see them really happy, you know, support them with that. But when you see them like sad and quiet, make sure you go and talk to them, because that's when they really need you the most. That's really when they need you the most, and they just need someone to listen to them. And even if you don't have anything to, you know, give them advice about, just listen to them. That's really the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because some days you don't have advice to give to me, but other days, or some days you don't have advice to give to me, but at least you listen to me, you know? Like, I got it out. And don't bottle everything up, you know? Let it out. Talk to someone. Whether it's close or not, just talk to someone. And anyone at school who's watching this, I mean, if nobody's there for you, you can always hit me up. You guys all have me on Snapchat. Give me a text. I'm down to have a conversation if it's only after 12 a.m. because that's when the feelings hit. But,
kind of got like a mode, you know?
Yeah.
Like my camera goes into like night mode after 12 a.m.
Yeah.
12 to 6, you know,
Yeah.
just in case anyone tries to open my dad's doors again. Kind of like what happened last time. But yeah, no, I feel you. Like, I feel like you have to get into like that certain state to discuss those types of things, you know? So that makes sense. But
yeah. So yeah, that is a little bit about my mental state. Yasser, what is your mental state?
I would say my mental state is a little similar, right? But rather than me being, I guess, like going through a phase of like a situation, which I mean, it's kind of like I'm sort of in a situation as well. Mine is kind of more of something that can't necessarily be 100% controlled, right? I feel like I'm more so like socially deprived, and that's taking a toll on my mental health personally. You know what I mean? Like, over the past couple of years, I've become more extroverted rather than being introverted, and, you know, just being comfortable with like those one or two friends I have. Like, I can go and speak to anyone, right? So like me, as I mentioned, I don't think I mentioned this in the last podcast, but like I also am currently job seeking, right? I'm looking for an opportunity that'll allow me to have like that door to ventilate to people and just like interact with all sorts of different types of people, right? Which is something that this podcast helps me out with, right? But I'm more so deprived of like the social aspect of, you know, taking care of yourself. And I believe like, especially for extroverted people, like they crave that a lot, you know? So that's something that I'm deprived of, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I saw that today too when we went to Tropical. I promise you guys, I'm not cheating at Jamba. I have a screen recording. It was T-Mobile Tuesdays, and there was a free smoothie at Tropical, okay? I swear.
I hope David watches this part specifically.
David, if you watch this, bro, I swear I'll show you a screen recording of me deleting the app right after. I swear I'm loyal to Jamba.
We did though.
Okay, it wasn't even that good. Okay, let me tell you. First of all, okay, she took 30 minutes, right? To take my order, first of all, right? If this was Jamba, I would have been done in 5 seconds, okay? Second of all, me and Yasser got his drink, right? He's just sipping it up. He's like halfway done already, right? I'm like staring there, and my smoothie is just sitting at the counter.
It's on the blender. Like,
yeah, like it's in the blender. It's just sitting there. And this girl, not going to say her name in case she watches this. Never know.
She's not going to watch
No,
this.
You never know. What if we blow up?
Oh, yeah, we might.
So she sees the blender, right, on the counter. She picks it up and she looks at me and she goes, "Did you get your smoothie yet?" I was like, "Ma'am, I don't
word
have
for
my
word."
Yeah, I was like, "I don't have my smoothie." And she's like, "Why didn't you use your Jedi powers to get the smoothie?" I was like, "I'm never coming back to this place, right?" And then as me and Yasser walk, Yasser's like dying laughing, right? And I'm like, I can't believe this is happening.
Because we were standing there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
just waiting for a smoothie, and they were conversing, and we were like, what's going on?
Yeah, it was taking forever. And then as we're walking out, right? As we're walking out, she's like, "Hope to see you next time." I walk out. I was like, "Absolutely not. You are never seeing me ever again. Step foot in a Tropical Cafe."
Unless it's Tuesday.
David, I promise you, if there's no free smoothie at Tropical Cafe, I will never go to Tropical Cafe ever again.
But if there is?
I'll think about it. But if the girl's working, I am not getting it from there. Absolutely not.
We're not gonna be out here name dropping though.
Yeah, no, that's
It's not
bogus.
gonna be
It's
bogus like
It's
that
bogus.
unless you guys go through a photo library and find the receipt, but which I still have, but we're not gonna mention it.
But yeah, sorry. That was just like a little story of
We just
Yasser
had to
talking
vent a
about
little
his-
bit. You know, it's
Yeah.
important to just socially vent.
This happened like 2 hours
So,
before we're filming
yeah.
this, actually. So
I actually finished that like as soon as I got home too, and you were only
yeah,
halfway
you
done.
were okay. Well, dude, she took 30 minutes to give my smoothie,
Yeah,
so you
no.
were guzzling that.
I ran through that smoothie.
Yeah,
bro.
literally.
Call me Usain Bolt. I'll
Okay.
be running through these smoothies. I swear I go to Jamba and I just finish a smoothie like that. Like I'm done with it. Probably like a quarter before we get into the car. Like I'm just done with the smoothie.
You know what? Drop a comment down below what your favorite smoothie is.
Yeah.
I want to know what your guys' opinions are, because his is like strawberries and peaches. Mine is like bananas and blueberries. Like I don't know why. Like recently, I've just like built up a love for bananas and blueberries.
Blueberries?
Yeah,
Oh,
blueberries.
nice. Blueberries?
But yeah, so drop down some comments below what your favorite smoothie is. I mean, mine is bananas and blueberries.
I could always go for some strawberry banana, low key.
Strawberry banana.
That has a spice. Like
That strawberry
the
banana is like,
OG.
yeah, strawberry banana is like, you can't go wrong with
There's
it.
gas.
Yeah,
Yeah. Especially this food that I'm smelling right now is also gas. But
yeah, low key.
yeah, this
Bijan's cooking it up there.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
he's
I'm
up there
hungry.
cooking it up. Yeah.
Okay, so, we talked about the what's it called? The issues of mental health,
Mhm.
but how can you improve your mental health?
I believe one of like the many ways you can improve your mental health is to so as I mentioned, like the burnouts and the crashes earlier, right? If you're, for instance, trying to go from like a state to just completely being burnt out, not having any courage or energy to do anything at all, I believe like one way you could improve your mental health is by the first point I guess would be to just slowly get back into the rhythm of things, right?
Mhm.
Like if you have a to-do, like I personally have a to-do list, right? Like if you have a to-do list, if you're trying to get out of burnout, like the day of or the following day, on your to-do list, literally just put like, make my bed, do my laundry, and do one class worth of homework,
Yeah.
right? And the next day, build upon that, right? The next day, do my laundry, do 2 class homework, wash my car, and go run errands.
And if that is really hard for you, start off with something small first. And what I do personally every single morning is make my bed.
Yeah.
That's the first step that I do. And then after that, I simply start to set goals for myself throughout the day.
Yeah, that's good because like you have a stepping stone to kind of build off of, right? And like
Yeah.
if you make your bed, that's kind of like you initiating you getting out of your
Yeah,
burnout. Sort of thing,
that's
right?
like the first step of motivation, basically.
That makes sense.
And then
Well,
you go on.
okay. I
Yeah.
see where you're
Were you
coming
gonna ask
from.
a question?
No, I was just gonna say like in terms of like a broader aspect to
Mhm.
like improve mental health, I think that is just like daily routine as like what we kind of dove into earlier, but like also it's more so of like consistent habits,
Okay.
right? I believe that obviously if you don't brush your teeth for a week
That's
and
disgusting.
yeah,
That's absolutely
I know
gross.
it's vile, right? But if you don't brush your
Disgusting.
teeth for a
Yeah.
week, right? And your doctor tells you have gingivitis, you better not be surprised because you didn't put that toothbrush in your mouth
Yeah.
for a week.
It's
You know what I mean?
disgusting.
So like
It's
I feel
absolutely
like
gross.
consistent habits really shape what could like how you can improve either whether that be physically or mentally
Yeah.
or spiritually,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It's just those daily dose of like things that you do on a day-to-day basis
Mhm.
which draws you closer to like
Yeah.
what you're trying to improve toward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, what we pointed out was just like a few steps of, trying to cure it, but even after that, if you can't, try talking to someone and don't let it get to the point where you fully give up on yourself. Keep fighting for yourself. I think that's the biggest thing, and people usually, fight for what they want, but don't fight for themselves. And that plays a big role because you only get one life, and if you just let it go to waste, like burying yourself in this dark, deep hole, then what are you doing? You're wasting your one life. Go out, enjoy. You're young, man. There's no need for us teenagers to be, depressed right now. Like, sure, I understand, breakups or family stuff or school stuff is all going on. Keep fighting for yourself, man. Get up and get those grades up. Do everything you want. Because last year, I remember I was struggling with school, and, that took a toll on my mental health too. But, alhamdulillah, this year I'm I'm grinding this year, bro. And I feel good with my, my school stuff. I got some family stuff going on. I got some other stuff going on with work and stuff. But other than that, I feel good. Like, I'm good with school. My grades are A's and B's, so I'm fighting for myself here. If I'm doing it, so can you guys, honestly.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And I feel like in the past, or actually this could still be current for some people, right? But they get so caught up in the drive of establishing like income or establishing like education, right? Where they forget the most important part, which is what you mentioned, is to establish themselves, like mentally and stuff like that, and fight for themselves. And they're fighting out here, fighting for everything else. But like, think of it this way, right? Like, if you can't fight for yourself, what do you have left to put out into other things? Yeah. Right? Like, you don't have anything left to put out into your school, into your education. School and education are the same thing, but your income, stuff like that. So
yeah, and I mean, I know you struggle with that a little bit, putting yourself forward. That's why whenever we talk, I'm always telling you to put yourself first, and then let whatever has to happen, let it happen with time, and don't get too caught up with everything that you want to do in the future. Focus on what's happening right now at this current moment, and then move on slowly. Take slow steps. Yeah. Again, starting off with making the bed in the morning and stuff, just those small steps really get you a far way.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. All right, let's finish this podcast real quick, and then let's go grub.
So to segue into the final question, right?
The conclusion.
What do you do if talking to someone doesn't help, right? Like, what if, let's say you do seek professional help. Yeah. Rather than just ventilating with, your friends, your family, which is also a good step, right? But let's say, like, taking those approaches doesn't help you. You still feel the same after the conversation, or you still feel same, just after that occurrence in general. What do you do?
I got what you're saying. Okay, so if talking to your family or friends doesn't work, try talking to someone professionally. Okay. And if that doesn't even work, maybe they can help prescribe you some medications that you can use to help this. And, maybe talking to someone that is professional can help you switch what you do on a day-to-day basis. And that can, bring in some new things that you've never done before into your day. Okay. So try talking to someone professional and see if that helps you. If not, personally, like by yourself, even try switching up what you do on a day-to-day basis. Like you said, one class a day, and then 2 classes a day, and then, clean your car. Like small stuff like that really goes a far way.
Just work from there and build that stepping stone, as we mentioned earlier, right? The other thing that I wanted to say was that I believe that you have to go to like the right person for these kind of things, right? Because like
someone you can trust.
Yeah, not only someone you could trust, but like someone that is able to help you as well, right? Because like I feel like, between me and Nizam, when we have these conversations, right? And like we make sure to like, either if we're both going through something, we like ventilate to each other, right? Or him and I either ask one another, like, hey, are you currently in a good state of mind to like listen to me right now? Just not even to give a response. Like, I just need a ventilation source, right? So I believe like you need to go to the right people for that, and like people that are isolated, if they don't have people in their lives, right? And I'm laughing because like, I don't know, I just feel like isolation is a funny word, right? But like, if people don't have someone to go to, these professionals are trained to say things a specific way where it allows you to open up. Yeah. It allows your thought process to kind of flow a little bit better, right? You're able to relax. Like, they have all these mechanisms kind of like locked down, right? Yeah. And they are trained to know what to do in specific scenarios and situations. Yeah. So I feel like you need to, I feel like some people feel like they can't seek professional help because they're going to seem crazy, but like these people actually do help, Yeah. And they know how to show that they're listening. They know how to show that they're attentive, and they know what to say in response. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if there's one thing you guys take away from this podcast is make sure you guys don't bottle everything up, Find someone you trust or don't trust. I mean, preferably someone you trust or you're close with, and let it out to them and tell them what you're going through and stuff. And always listen to what they have to say, because they're seeing it from a different perspective than you are. So listen to what they're saying, and really just don't hold it in, and take their advice for what they say. So this wraps up episode, what is it, 6? This wraps up episode 6 of Reflect. Make sure you guys come back next Sunday, yeah. Sorry.
Almost forgot the date there.
No, yeah, because I was thinking about something else. Next Sunday, for our what is this, second to last episode for the season?
Yes.
Yeah. So come back next Sunday for our second to last season.
Wait, no, actually, it's third to last.
No, second to last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, second
Okay.
to last. Second to last episode
Okay.
of season 1. And then season 2 is going to be a banger for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We're really excited for you guys. We got some big things coming up ahead.
You guys got to keep an eye out for that one.
For those 40% that are not subscribed, you guys are going to miss this. And I'm not going to keep linking it in my Instagram. Just kidding, I am, because I need those subscribers.
And we need the views.
So
and we need the monetization.
Yeah, anyways, for those 40%, make sure you subscribe. And make sure you guys continue to watch, reflect, and grow. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Later.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to season 1, episode 6 of Reflect. What are you doing?
Get away, dude. You already had the spotlight last episode.
Yeah,
Am I not gonna be on this one?
No.
you're not in this episode.
Why?
Because it's me and Nazam, bro. They've never seen us.
Yeah, who do you think you are? Just because
Yeah.
you came up with this idea, I'm the one who actually did all the work. Leave.
Yeah.
Really? I'm seriously not gonna be on this one?
No.
Really?
Your mental state is perfectly fine. Ours isn't.
Okay, well, what?
A few moments later.
When everybody fake now, you can crack the code, bust down everything. Set and roll, gold dread, talking to you people like I'm J. Cole. I could tell her head good before I even know. Please don't tell me that you model if you ain't been in Vogue.